I remember in week 1, yeah, check this, of my internship, week 1 or week 2 of my internship, after I hit the desk, myself and another intern, we had to do a bloody presentation in front of everyone, like in week 2 or week 3. And I was bricking it. I was so scared. There's me, introverted Afzal, asked to do a presentation on asset management and the industry in front of industry professionals, 10, 20 of them. I was obviously shitting myself, right? I was like, oh my God, what? Like, I was scared. And so obviously I did it, but I made sure the presentation skills that people saw on that week compared to what they saw in week 9 or 10 for my final presentation were gonna be completely different, as in completely improved. And so today we're going to talk about your mid-internship review, and we're going to talk about how you improve your development areas that you get feedback on to making sure they are outstanding by the end of your internship. Yes, people. All right, so week 5 of your summer internship. Your mid-internship review is either going to happen this week or next week, so week 5 or 6. And that's basically where you're going to sit down with your manager and they're going to tell you, here's what you've been doing good and here's what you can improve. And so you're going to have 4 or 5 weeks after the mid-internship review to show them that you can improve on everything that they said needs improving. If you do that, you're pretty much guaranteed to get an offer for a full-time role. If you show them that there hasn't been any improvement on your development areas, then you're probably not going to get an offer because you've shown them that you get feedback and you don't do anything about it. It's as simple as that. So here's what you need to do when you approach your meeting with your manager. It's typically going to be you and your manager. It might have your buddy or your mentor in there, but 9 times out of 10, it's just you and your manager. And so they're going to be using information that has come to them through people that you've worked with or met over the last 4 or 5 weeks on your internship. And so you're going to give them a list of names. They're going to reach out to them. They're going to give feedback on you, both good and bad. And then you're going to go from there. So when you enter this meeting, yes, it's nice to be told what you're doing well, but don't pay too much attention to what you're doing well because, you know, it's good. Just keep doing those things. Keep doing it. You're on the right path. What you want to focus on is the development areas. And also, you don't want to be the person who can't take feedback. You don't want to start crying. You don't want to start making excuses. You don't want to get upset. Every point they say that needs development, you don't want to fight back. You don't want to moan, right? Because they're going to think this person can't take feedback. Interesting. I'm learning a lot about them. It's just not a good sign. So you want to take the feedback on board. They're going to say to you, you can show a bit more attention to detail in your work. You can be a bit more presentable. You should communicate a bit more. You should let the team know what you're working on. You should do more coffee catch-ups. You should try and improve your knowledge on markets. You should try and learn more about fixed income. You should try and learn more about mergers and acquisitions. You should try and learn more about ESG investing, whatever it might be. You go in obviously with a pen and pad. Every meeting you go to, you should have a pen and pad. Note down on one side positives, what you're doing well. Note down on one side development areas, what you need to fix up on. You've got 5 weeks to focus on those. Make a plan, make a strategy. It's easy to say, all right, I need to improve my attention to detail, commercial awareness, and communication skills with the team over the next 4 or 5 weeks. If I've got my internship review somewhere in the house, but I can't find it. Not sure where it is. If I ever find it, I'll do a video on that because that will be useful. My feedback, I think, was because I was introverted, right? So it was like, do more catch-ups, try and post people on what you're working on because I used to just work and I didn't like shouting about, you know, what I was doing. But in the industry, you're going to learn you need to shout about your work. If you want to climb, right, most people at the top, they shout about everything they do. They win something, they shout about it. They do something, let people know. And it's just part of the culture because if you, like so many people will do great work, keep it to themselves. No one's going to know about it. So how are people meant to know you're working on amazing things or doing great things? That can impact promotions, etc. So you need to shout about your work. But anyway, let's say your feedback is do more catch-ups, communicate more with your team, like post them on what you're working on, and then improve your attention to detail and commercial awareness, right? It's easy to say, all right, I need to work on these 4 things over the next 5 weeks. But remember, you've got to be specific. What gets measured gets managed. So for each one, you want to create a plan. I've got 4 or 5 weeks upcoming. That's 5 days in a week. That's 20 days over 4 weeks or 25 days over 5 weeks. Plus weekends if you want to work weekends. How am I going to improve each of these? After your feedback meeting with your manager, set up a meeting with your buddy and a separate one with your mentor, catch-ups, right? And let them know what feedback you got. And so these are people who you should be comfortable to talk with. And then try and devise a plan, create a plan, ask them what's the best way to approach this. I want to smash my you know, development points over the next 3 or 4 or 5 weeks. How can I do it? And you want to create a plan for each one individually. So for more catch-ups, be strategic. 2-3 catch-ups a day over the next 4 or 5 weeks. For commercial awareness, read more of the Financial Times, whether it's 30 minutes on your commute into work in the morning, whether it's reading for 30 minutes while eating your lunch on the desk every day. All these small things to improve. Everyone who you catch up with in your team, you want to let them know these are the areas that I've been told to develop on, and these are the things that I'm going to be doing to kind of help myself develop in these areas. So people are aware, okay, he's taking these things seriously, or she's taking these things seriously, and this is what they're doing. Great. And you want to show them that you're doing these things consistently for the next 4 weeks. In terms of commercial awareness, we touched that. We touched on catch-ups. In terms of attention to detail, or in terms of posting the team, you want to, you know, what I used to do at the end of the week, a weekly summary of everything I worked on, sent to my manager and my team. These are the things I worked on this week, blah, 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 blah. Just a list of things just to let them know what I've been working on, who I've been working with. So it's posting people more. And I started doing that more and more in order to kind of raise my profile, let people know that I'm working on XYZ or who I'm working on things with. And then in terms of attention to detail, you know, emails, client work, sending things out to different teams, or even within your team, just make sure there's no grammatical errors, no spelling mistakes. Make sure everything is presentable. And if you have a consistent approach to your development points over the next 4 or 5 weeks after your mid-internship review, people will notice. And when people notice, they talk about it. They'll let your manager know. They'll be like, oh, he or she has done a lot of work and made a lot of effort in fixing their development points, and I can really see that. And that is it. That is what you need to do for your mid-internship review. Check in next week Sunday for week 6 tips for your internship, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.